An immense and formidable global superpower, under the calculated leadership of a supposedly brilliant and masterly geostrategist, has steadily and quite confidently descended through a series of failures all the way down to the pathetic and disorganized level of a common garbage dump.
It's just a country! I have no fucking idea a dude's breaking down the door over there. Right around the corner. They're standing with an X. Hey, are you guys all right? Bros. For Spartak!
We've talked a lot about the occupiers' military disaster and the collapse of the economy. Now let's take a look at how all this has affected the lives of ordinary Russians who, as we know, aren't interested in politics.
We're people too. We want at least some kind of comfort. You see, I sit down carefully. First, I pour the urine into the sink at this point. Then I slowly put in a new disposable trash bag. And then I proceed to go number 2 right in there.
While the Kremlin proudly boasts about the pointless Oreshnik strike on Lviv, the authorities in Belgorod region are urging residents to flee their own homes wherever their eyes may lead them. Because there is no electricity, no water, no heat.
You just need to understand that in the event of a difficult emergency situation, when there is no heat or electricity, you need to know the sequence of your actions. If possible, we take the children to relatives, to places where there is heat and electricity.
Scenes like these make the very foundations crumble, like old plaster in a Khrushchevka apartment. According to Putin, Russia attacked Ukraine supposedly to protect Russia. In the end, these great conquerors are offering this to their citizens. Run!
Run, damn it, run!
People in Belgorod no longer find it funny to watch on TV how Ukrainians are freezing in winter. Something feels off. That's not how they imagined the special military operation back in 2022, when they were happily sending their tanks off to Ukraine.
It will boil, we'll pour it out. At least we'll have some warm water. Yeah, the snow is clean smooth. No roof falls. It's safe if smoke misses you. Touch the steam. Belgorod survives like this.
We had a real, almost total blackout. That is, the whole city and part of the region were really plunged into darkness. There's no electricity, no water, basically nothing at all. They still haven't restored it, and it's unclear what will happen next.
Instead of somehow helping the residents of Belgorod, the Kremlin started an information campaign against them. First of all, the governor said that residents should solve their everyday problems themselves. There are no funds for this in the treasury.
You have to buy what you need for yourself. But yesterday's events showed that an extremely difficult period has already begun. And the protection of one's own home, of course, is now mostly in the hands of the residents themselves.
The sheriff doesn't care about the problems of the locals. And the official propaganda even declared that ensuring the livelihood of Russian citizens is not its concern at all. Because there are things more important than freezing residents of Belgorod. And in general, it's their own fault for living in a border region.
The country now has more important tasks than the everyday inconveniences of certain regions. If you live in a border zone, you should be ready to provide for yourself and not expect the state to bring everything to you on a silver platter. Belgorod itself is largely to blame. The residents scattered, didn't defend themselves, abandoned their homes, and then suddenly remembered about the authorities.
That's it, the show's over, the electricity is gone.
The same fate awaits Bryansk, Kursk, Voronezh, and Rostov. The Kremlin elders aren't concerned about the fate of the common folk. They're thinking about loftier things, about how to sell natural resources to Trump for the best profit.
Did we really vote for Russia just so that Russia would leave us without a means to survive? Why is the administration putting our Russia at risk with its actions? So that now people are upset. Ukraine used to provide jobs, but under Russia, we've been left without work. The actions they're taking are discrediting Russia itself.
And it's not just Russians in border or frontline regions who are freezing, but even those who can only see the war on TV. In
the Tiva region, there's been no electricity for almost 48 hours. No water, nothing at all. Maybe someone knows. Representatives from Rossetti. Send this to them. My reels, people here are dying, freezing to death. Are you even normal? Not a single crew is coming out here. All the roads are buried. People can't get out at all. What is this? What is going on?
This is Russia!
Moscow's policy is to spend all the money on war and send utility specialists into meat grinder assaults. The result is a complete collapse of infrastructure, even without bombings.
And of course, poverty and unemployment. When we were in Lekorg, we asked people and they said there's no work. There's a complete lack of jobs on one hand, and on the other, there's already a shortage of people, especially men. Only old people are left, yes. Schools are closing because there are only 4 to 6 children in them. It's no longer profitable to keep it open. And at the same time, on every pine tree, at every bus stop, there are ads saying, sign up for the special military operation.
The clearest example of absurdity is that very Oreshnik. 2 missiles with a total value of about $100 million were launched from the Kapustin Yar testing ground. This is what Kapustin Yar looks like, the place from which $100 million flew away and made a few holes in the ground near Lviv.
For those who deal with the problem on social media every day, there are plenty of photos showing villagers collecting snow in buckets. Jokingly, this spot in the village of Kapustin Yar is called the Little Stream. Here, as comical as it may sound, there is plenty of water, and it washes away the already ruined roads. In the northern part of the region, the snow has just melted and puddles have formed in the potholes. In bad weather, you can't drive up to the houses. The village of Kapustin Yar is one of the largest in the Akhtubinsk district. There are about 80 streets and lanes here. The roads are 100% worn out. Funds had already been allocated from the Astrakhan region's budget, but they were simply wasted.
That's Russia in a nutshell. They spend thousands of times more on killing and destroying their neighbors than on ensuring the lives of their own citizens. That's why Russia is a country of bums who, no matter what, are proud of their dump.
We're actually happy. We're glad that we live in Russia. We definitely wouldn't want to live anywhere else. We like everything here. We really do like everything. We're happy, we're proud. And for many, many years, we've been fighting to get gas. Our only problems are sewage and gas. That's it. That's the only thing.
That's what I'd like to call about, but I don't know how. That's the only thing.
But generally...
Fine. The gas is in yet.
Gas, thank God. Yes, now, well, they've started, thank God. But as for the sewage, still nothing. So if you go to Ananino, people just dump everything onto the road.
And it reeks.
Kremlin propaganda has long been pushing the idea that living well is actually bad. A Russian person doesn't need comforts or the joys of life, because he is spiritually rich and fair wages, healthcare, quality food, and warm homes are all the influence of the decaying West.
We're satisfied, thank God. I use it and I think it's fine, because I know how it is in the villages. There people drink much worse water. There it's all kinds yellow, rusty. People somehow purify it, boil it. I'm satisfied with everything. Our dear Putin, we pray to God for him so that he can come to an agreement with all of them. With the bourgeois, with the capitalists.
Russians have literally been taught to suffer, and now they see it as something normal. If you have a piece of bread, you shouldn't even dream of anything more. The main thing is for Putin to show them all who's boss, to really put them in their place, and to punish the Ukrainians for whatever it is they need to be punished for. And I live just fine without teeth and without sausage because I don't know any other life.
He, damn it, lifted Russia up from its knees.
What's your income?
Here we go again. I don't have any.
Of course, not everyone. For now, Russians can put up with their new impoverished reality. Many had gotten used to restaurants, trips to Turkey, and trendy Western brands during the fat oil and gas years of the 2010s. And when Moscow unleashed war against Ukraine, they stayed silent because they thought nothing would change. Now they are living in quiet horror.
Can someone please tell me, seriously, how on earth are you actually supposed to survive and live on this tiny amount of fucking money? On these pathetic little pennies they pay you at every single job these days? How are you supposed to live on that? It's just... I honestly don't understand it at all. What are those greedy bastards even hoping for? Do they really think that if they just raise the prices, then people will suddenly start having babies in droves? No, that is not right. They must expect them by the absolute truckload.
Russia has fought itself into complete impoverishment of its population. the war is taking away the last thing they have. And the scariest thing for Russians is that this isn't even rock bottom yet. It's going to get much worse. Putin apparently is ready to keep fighting for years, and he doesn't care that the Russian state can no longer even fulfill its most basic functions. Like, for example, clearing snow from the roads or repairing the heating.
This isn't the 19th or 18th century, this is the 21st century. One of the cities in Siberia.
These videos show Novosibirsk, the third largest city in Russia and the scientific capital of the country.
A metal garage, a wooden shed, a peeling house, another peeling house. What kind of space programs can we even talk about when people here are literally living in shacks like these?
Putin doesn't care about Russians. He'll keep spitting out hazelnuts while hundreds of thousands of Russians spit out their teeth onto the shelf. Soon the time will come when the state, instead of helping the population, will start taking away the last of their money to fund the army.
I am the wife of a serviceman of the 87th Rifle Regiment, and I have a question. Do soldiers get paid for injuries or not? My husband was wounded while performing his duties. He sought medical help. All the necessary documents are in order, but the payments he is entitled to still haven't been made.
Russians need to either overthrow the regime or resign themselves to poverty and ruin. No one will help them, because the Kremlin doesn't even have money for its own mercenaries. The occupiers are complaining en masse about delayed payments and about the fact that after returning from the front, no one needs them, and they quietly drink themselves to death from hunger.
At the moment, I have to turn to you for help again directly, since I have no money. The only money I have is the 8,000 rubles as a combat veteran, which I was granted. In August, I was officially assigned a disability group, the first group for life. In September, I submitted the necessary documents to the military enlistment office to receive a pension. But at the moment, as of January, I still haven't received a pension.
Across Russia, crowds of maimed, abandoned mercenaries wander and crawl, whose fate no one cares. Except for criminals who have launched a real hunt for their fellow occupiers to take away their compensation for injuries.
I came to visit my parents on leave. After being wounded after the hospital, I went to the nightclub, Geometry. I was sitting there minding my own business, not bothering anyone. A guy I didn't know came up to me. He asked me to step outside. We went outside together. He started accusing me, asking why I wasn't contributing to the group. I wasn't contributing to them. With money, with booze, drugs. He said, what kind of contribution is that? And then basically they all started beating me up as a group. They kept hitting me over and over, took my watch, broke 4 of my lower ribs, and now I have to wear a brace.
The only task and purpose of the state is to ensure the safety and a decent standard of living for its citizens. Russia is an anti-state because it does everything the opposite way. It has even neglected the basic needs of its population. Instead, it started a war of aggression that has killed over 1 million of its own people, and now it can't even defend its own territory from retaliatory strikes. And it officially declares that Russians must save themselves. So, it turns out that the Russian state has no purpose at all. It's a failed state. The Russian state is now the main enemy of Russians, and they must eliminate it.
So when Putin dies, he'll be laid in an exquisite Italian coffin, wearing an expensive suit from a French couturier with a gold Swiss watch. But Putin will rot away over the years, while Western values will remain.
I want to remind you that this video is created for entertainment purposes and contains elements of satire and irony. All facts and events are presented in a hyperbolized or exaggerated form to convey a comedic or dramatic effect. We do not aim to mislead, but simply emphasize humor. Please take this with a smile.